Yo, what's up guys? This is Jesse with Initiate Motorsports, back with part number 3 of porting the upper and lower plenum and the lower manifold. Today we're going to be working on the upper plenum, so I'm going to kind of describe what I'm going to be doing to it today, and then we'll be moving on from there to getting it all scuffed up and ready for paint, and then we'll throw a layer of paint on it. Alright, so the goal of today is we're going to be taking my Dremel. I bought the Dremel from Harbor Freight for 35 bucks. Battery was about 60 for the 5 amp hour. I use these little Dremel flap discs. They look like that. It's kind of hard to see. But essentially, and I've described this in the last 2 videos, but I'll figure I'd say it again. So I buy these 10 packs from Amazon for about 8 bucks. You can buy the Dremel brand single, just one singular flap disc, for about $8 as well. The Dremel brand lasts a lot longer than these do. However, that Dremel brand lasts only about as long as 5 of these. So by that math, it's still a better deal to go with the Amazon ones. So today I'm going to be taking the flap disc inside here and smoothing everything out. The entire goal of today is to get rid of this porous feel that is all inside here. Once we're done with that, we're going to move over to a lot of these casting marks. If I can get out of the shadow, there's these big ridges right here where they cast the 2 pieces together. So we're going to be taking the flap disc and sanding that out and making it nice and smooth. Then we're going to move into here, and it's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but there's a bunch of big casting marks there as well. So we're just going to smooth this whole thing out. I'll open up this port just a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and start scuffing it up for paint. Alright, so as you guys can see here, that lip is most of the way gone. I still got a little bit to do up here, but this whole side is gone now. It's still a little bit not super even, but it's even enough that airflow will flow over it a lot better than it was. So now we're going to keep working on this side, and then we're going to start digging down into the intake tube there. And then once I'm done with that, I'll move over to this side and start digging in that way. Open it up. You can see there's kind of a lip around the edge there. I'm going to try to flatten that out. So it's not a big port or anything like that. All it is just allowing it to breathe better now that the air can flow through here without running over all that porous stuff. Alright guys, so as you can see there, I am covered in aluminum shavings. Jeez. That's what's going to happen. That's why I rock this respirator. I got this thing for cheap on Amazon. You can see, I mean, it has got a bunch of shavings in it. Put something on, dude. You don't want to breathe that in. So anyways, we got this thing pretty much finished up. So I never do the towers here. It's just not really anything I've ever decided to do. They seem to work pretty fine without it. At some point, I actually think I want to try cutting these and then taking a spool gun and welding the other sides closed and then smoothing the whole thing out, but that's for another day. And then I went in here, and you can see in there I sanded out the intake tubing, sanded that gasket face right there, got inside. This thing's pretty much done, so we have one step before we gotta paint. We gotta clean this, so that's what we're gonna hop on right now. So as you can see here, we got part 1 with the lower plenum, part 2 with the lower manifold, and part 3 with the upper plenum. So all 3 of these are done and ready to go. So the next step before we paint, we really got to deep clean these. I have a little baby bottle cleaner that I use, and it sticks in there. It's got bristles on it, so gets it real clean. I use Dawn dish soap and really try to focus on the exterior of these parts as well, because they're super dirty and oily. You want to get them nice and clean before you send some primer on them. Alright guys, so we are in my bathroom. We're going to go ahead and lay some Dawn dish soap all over these guys with some hot water. Like I said, I use this little brush for baby bottles. It has this little piece that hooks in underneath. This thing is good for getting into all those thread holes. And then this side just good for the bigger cylinder holes. Gives you a lot of versatility to get them cleaned out. So we'll start cleaning them now. Alright guys, so these are about as clean as I usually get them. You could go back through and actually wire brush the top, which looking at this upper plenum I might do. It's a little bit dirty in these crevices. So there's a good chance I hit it with the wire brush and some brake clean or something like that. So I'm gonna hit these spots real quick and just get them finished up, and I always spray brake clean last just to get any left materials off of there. Something to keep in mind though, so a lot of people don't know this, but if I wanted these to be perfectly 100% clean, I could put them in the oven. It's been a while. I did it with mine when I was polishing the top, the upper plenum. I put it in the oven and baked it. All that dirt and grime comes out of it, out of this porous aluminum, when it's baked at a specific temperature. I think it was 400. But for this instance, I'm not actually doing that. I'm just getting them really, really clean and laying the enamel over the top. It should work fine, is keeping a little bit of a barrier between the intake air and hot temperatures seeping in. So what I use for this is I have a wire brush end for my impact, and you'll just see dust come flying off of this thing. It works pretty good. So we are gonna first lay some primer down. For primer, I like VHT brand primer. This seems to work really, really well. And then I've always had a lot of luck with Duplicolor's caliper paint. I know it's caliper and not engine. Here's the engine paint. It looks pretty similar, but it does not lay nearly as good as the caliper paint does. The caliper paint just leaves a really nice smooth finish, almost like it was powder coated, so that's what I like. So I'm gonna get these painted up. We're gonna go with silver on the lower manifold and the lower plenum, and matte black on the upper plenum. So let's get started. So now I have the upper plenum and the lower plenum here. We're gonna hit these guys. All right, and one can of paint did all 4 of those. For the primer, doing 1 coat each and 2 coats on the upper plenum. So again, we're just gonna let these dry here for a minute, and then I'll start actually laying paint on, probably about 15-20 minutes. So, all right, so we're gonna get this nice and shaped up, do a couple of test sprays. So you can see here, this will dry matte black, which was the color he wanted. And it's really hard to get black perfectly because you just see all these little spots like this right here. Just a little tiny spot you really wouldn't notice, but you gotta hit them because otherwise it'll look jacked up. With silver, it's not that big of a deal because the gray primer underneath kind of hides it a little bit. Yeah, this should be dried up here in a little bit. I'm gonna go through and do a couple of quick last second checks, just make sure I got everything on both of them, and then yeah, then we wait overnight and let them dry. I always at the end look them over pretty in depth, and what I'll do is I'll spray some of the spray paint into cap and use a teeny tiny little paintbrush and just hit spots that kind of got jacked up. It's very common for that to happen. This thing has been a little bit of a problem. Just little spots. Black paint is super hard to cover on gray primer, and the reason being is that it's just you see through it. You see the primer no matter what you do. Yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you can please like the video, please comment on the video. Please let me know if you guys have ever done this. If there's anything you did differently, I'd like to know. And please subscribe to the video. Really makes a huge difference for me. Super small, any subscriber counts. Really appreciate you guys watching the video. I'll see you next time. Thanks.